I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. And as always, I want to say thank you to those of you who have subscribed. If you like the podcast, drop me a follow, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. Okay, we're going to leave the thanks there, though, because the hell is wrong with you people? What are you doing? Why is an AI version of a good song so popular nowadays? I'm mad. I'm peeved. I'm ticked. Any synonym for angry you want to use. Why? Because AI is not art. Okay? This concept that AI can be art needs to go away. It needs to be done. It needs to be over. Why? Half of art is the process of creating the art. Half of art is the process of creating the art. The end result is supposed to be the result of a process. All right? Telling an AI software program that you want someone else's song sung by someone else. It's awful. It's horrible. That ruins it. It makes me so angry. It makes me furious. I am peeved, world. I am peeved. I'm peeved in general today because I'm wearing a Bills jersey with the word Bills cleverly hidden so that we don't end up in a copyright dispute with the NFL because they would win. I have no money to fight that. I'm peeved in general today because social media has a lot of positives about it, right? You can use social media in positive ways to keep up with friends and family. I use it, for example, my sister lives far away. You can use it to promote your business. If you have a business, it's another way to promote it. It's an excellent way to get eyes on the small businesses that normally wouldn't be able to get eyes on them. Excellent use of social media. Love that. There's two things that social media is doing right now, though, that is pissing me off. There's multiple things that social media does that piss me off, but there's two things in particular right now. And as you can see, I've held up two fingers very aggressively if you're watching the video. If you're not watching the video, you might have heard the sound of two fingers going past the microphone very aggressively. It's two fingers, guys. Don't get weird about it. First, the AI thing. This song, this AI version of Wake Me Up by Evanescence with the character Cartman from South Park singing it. It came out of an AI machine. I don't know if somebody auto-tuned it as well, but it's in tune and it sounds like Cartman singing Wake Me Up by Evanescence. It is so popular. It is everywhere. That is awful. That is awful. I don't know, unless, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong about this. If Evanescence was paid for that usage and is paid for the ongoing usage of their song, I'm less mad, but I'm still mad about it because somebody said to themselves, oh, I'm going to do this. It's going to be really funny. And now this version of the song is out there. Now, somebody's going to say to me, well, it drives ears back to the original song. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's such a ridiculous BS reason to violate somebody's intellectual. The work to create that song was entirely done by Evanescence. And it should tell you something about, these guys they worked incredibly hard to write that song, to create a piece of art that has sustained itself through several decades, right? They worked their tail off to create that piece of art and meant that to be part of a catalog of songs and wanted a career out of that. They worked hard to learn how to write songs, to learn how to play music, to find the collaborators, to make it happen, to do the voice lessons required to sing, right? Because that Cartman voice is not singing on its own. It's actually just taking the notes from the lead singer, putting Cartman's voice over them, and that's it. Maybe a little auto-tune, right? Maybe a little auto-tune. That is theft. That is highway robbery. And the fact that it is so freaking popular on Instagram is nuts to me. It's just absolutely nuts. If you like the AI Cartman version of Wake Me Up, you don't actually like the Cartman version. You like Evanescence's version with a different voice on top of it, with no effort put in. What is this obsession with taking away the process of what makes art beautiful is that process that goes into it. The peak inside the artist who is making making that performance, making that artwork, making that painting. AI artwork is an abomination because all it does is it takes from other art that's already been created. But half of what makes art so fascinating is the look inside the artist's mind, what they were thinking when they created it. How did an artist look at that landscape? And even, yeah, you want to say, oh, they just copied the landscape. No, they didn't. They put themselves into the landscape and came back with their interpretation of what they saw. What about like Salvador Dali, who looked at a cabinet and saw a melting clock? Like that's fascinating. Like that's a fascinating study. And you know what? When you're young, you don't appreciate it. But as you get older, you really start to appreciate it because you look at it and you think to yourself, well, effort went into that. There must be something into it. And as you start to look and peel back the layers, you start to see it. What is this obsession with cutting out that process, that creating shortcuts to everything? There is no shortcut. No shortcut exists. Like, if you, I'm so mad I'm saying like too much. If you look at a piece of art, all AI has done has not created an original piece of art. They've just grabbed a bunch of other art and smashed it together. Well, Nick, there's a process involved with that. Screw you. There's no process involved with that. I'm not buying that argument. You can make that argument till the cows come home. Somebody created the AI software. Sure. Okay. Yeah. And there was a process involved in creating the AI software. But you know what? All you did was you created a thief. Congratulations. You created an intellectual property criminal. Well done. And you created something that should have been a help to humanity. You created something that should have made our lives easier. And instead, you're using it to take away the thing that helps us explore our humanity. Well done. You're a thief. All of you. Shame. I'd follow you with a bell, but I don't know who you are. Also, that would be stalking and a crime, and I would never do that. But you're wrong. The other thing that pisses me off, these games that, like, all these ads on Instagram that keep popping up that are like, oh, make money easy this way, make passive income easy this way. There's no such thing as passive income. It doesn't exist. Passive income is not a thing. It's not. It takes somebody's work to do that income. If it's fully passive income, you think you can just sit on your ass and money's just going to flow in? No. That's not how income works. You're paying somebody to do work at the end of the day. But Nick, what if I own rental property? Doesn't that just appreciate over time and create? No! Somebody has to manage the property. And either you're managing the property or somebody else is managing the property. And you're paying the person to manage that property. Okay? Labor is going into it. And if you think to yourself, well, if I'm paying somebody to manage the property, you're still managing something. You're managing the property manager. Or if you're not, you're an idiot. There's no shortcuts. Like, we want life to be easier, but we want life to be easier in order for us to better focus on the process, to make the process cleaner, to make the process smoother. And why do you want to take away the work? You learn from the work. You grow from the work. You can't just walk into the gym and have somebody else lift the weights for you. That doesn't do anything. You atrophy. You become nothing. If you're an actor, you have to go to class. You have to work on things. If you're a musician, you have to practice with your instrument. Singers, same thing. Painters, the great painters didn't paint their works on the first try. Writers, same thing. It's the reason why there's a freaking strike going on, is because all that work adds up to something. It adds up to something beautiful. This was a very ranting 10 minutes with Nick. but it needed to be said. It was in my head. It needed to be said. There's a process. You need to follow that process. You need to work on that process. You need to appreciate the process. Stop trying to take the process away. Social media, stick to what you're good at. Use AI to make the process smoother. Use it to fine tune the bumps in the road. Use it to help you, I can't even think of it, AI is great as a Google search tool, right? It's great to go find something you're looking for. I certainly wouldn't trust AI to do my taxes. You know why? Because there's no responsibility. There's very few things that AI, I think, would be very good at. AI has to be used in conjunction with the human labor that makes things great. Stop trying to use AI to shortcut the processes of life. Use AI to help, not shortcut. AI should be a tool in your tool belt. It should not be a way for you to shortchange yourself. I'm Nick. This was a very angry 10 minutes with Nick, or at least my version of very angry. I'm not necessarily an angry person, but my version of angry. I'm Nick. This was 10 minutes with Nick. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Go Bills.